So whoever watched my interview with Jeff Marr, and I want to thank you so much for watching and commenting. And if you have questions, feel free to put your questions either on my interview with Jeff Marr or below this video as well. That's fine too. But I wanted to also expand upon a couple of other subject areas that I really feel are important when it comes to understanding our animals, and can we really telepathically communicate with them? Do they really understand us? And how do we understand them better? So if this is the first time you're watching me, my name is Dulcinea, and my channel is all about animal communication. I've been an animal communicator for over 10 years now, and I want to share with you a couple of highlights that are extended from Jeff Marr's podcast. Oh, and if you're not following me, definitely follow and subscribe. I wanted to dive in and share with you one easy thing to do in order for you to connect deeper with your animal and for you to understand what they're thinking, feeling, and what they are picking up from you. And that is when you go into a meditation, even before going into a meditation, you want to really set the intention. Because when we set the intention that I'm going to receive, I'm going to feel good, and I'm going to allow my fur baby to show me or tell me anything they'd like to show or tell me, then the information will flow. And the way the information flows is through any and all of our senses, because we all are born innately to telepathically communicate with animals. It's just a matter of practicing this. So the first thing with your meditation, because I talked about meditation in that podcast, is that you really want to set the intention of, yes, I'm doing this. I'm going to do this. And I'm going to receive whatever they want to show me or tell me. And by doing this, you will actually naturally open up your telepathic abilities. And that includes all or any of your senses. So, you can receive information by visualizing, by seeing it, or you can see it with your third eye, or you can use hearing. You can hear the information, meaning you may hear a sound, you may hear words, you may hear a whole dialogue. There's no right or wrong. You may also just feel in your heart of all hearts, yeah, I get you now. So you want me to slow down. That is part of using your telepathic and your senses. Another way is feeling things in your body. Yes, you could actually start getting some discomfort in your body, knowing that, hey, I feel good. I don't have any discomforts. Well, guess what? That's coming from your fur baby. That's coming from your animal, letting you know, yes, I'm feeling some discomfort there. Please, let's get this checked out. Another way of receiving information is literally by smelling. You could start smelling something, and you're not cooking anything, right? And there's no flowers near you, but you may be smelling some flowers. Well, that's a sign and signal coming from your fur baby. And guess what? Even if Sugar's here, even if you're in a meditative state and you're connecting with your animal in spirit, and you start smelling something or you start hearing that's coming from your fur baby in spirit. Yeah, that's how it works. It doesn't matter whether animals are physically here with us or they're in spirit. We can telepathically communicate with them. It just doesn't matter. It just is. And the last way is literally tasting. You may taste something, and that is also a message coming from your animal. Now, what could I be tasting? Well, let's say you really want to know what your animal, if your dog really likes that new dog food, and you start tasting it, and it's like, yeah, that tastes pretty good. Well, that's a confirmation that they like it. Obviously, besides the fact that they're eating it. But let's say they didn't like their food. And all of a sudden, you started tasting something that tasted foul. Well, guess what? That's their way of letting you know they don't like their food. The other thing I wanted to share with all of you is that you all have the ability to communicate telepathically with your fur baby, whether again, here or in spirit. You also have the ability to heal yourself and your animal. And one of the beautiful ways of doing that is learning, creating a healing space. And meditation is just a beautiful way of doing that. And I also have a course on how to do that. It's a very general Reiki course on how to offer Reiki for animals as well as for yourself. And that's a beautiful course that's available, as well as I have a crystal healing certification course. And this is designed for animals. And by the way, animals love crystals. They resonate with it. Animals know what crystals are. So you may want to check that out as well. The other thing that I really wanted to dive into and share with all of you is that people think that an animal communicator only communicates with animals, and that a psychic or a medium only communicate with spirit. Well, that doesn't always work that way. There are many psychics and mediums out there that connect with animals, and there are many animal communicators, just like myself, that connect with all different types of spirits and energy and information. I'll give you a great example. In several of my sessions, I've had a beautiful opportunity where the animal kind of like sits back and says, hey, I'm going to allow my human spirit that is no longer here on earth come in. And I've had more information come through for the animal's human, the pet parent, if you will, so that the human, the pet parent, can actually have a more in-depth reading and understanding that perhaps, in this case, I've had both a husband and a mom come through, and it provided those two different clients such relief and information that they otherwise wouldn't have gotten. One was able to find documents that their husband left for them, and another was just the fact that the human felt very guilty about the mother's passing, and she no longer has that guilt feeling. So it's very, very powerful. So can humans come into an animal communication session? They do in mind when it's supposed to, when it's intended based on the needs of what the animal wants to share with me to help their human. And another concept that I wanted to also share with you is everyone thinks, oh, wow, you're an animal communicator, you're a psychic medium, you're so gifted. That's amazing. It's like when people express that, there's a separation. They're creating a separation from like them to them. But please, I'm here to share with you, it's not a gift. It is an ability. We all have this ability. And one of the things that I go into depth, both in my animal companion group as well as in my mentorship program, is helping humans understand that when we come from separation, when we think we can't do XYZ, or that's not in my belief system, I never thought that just wasn't part of my programming, that wasn't part of my way of bringing up. Having certain belief systems that don't resonate for you or for that person actually keeps them separate from saying, wait a minute, maybe I can do this. So I want you to understand you do have this ability. You just have to open your heart, open your mind, and be willing not just to practice talking with your animals, right? But also be willing to get out of your comfort zone to learn more about yourself, learn more about your own belief system, learn more about your inner wisdom, identify what your imbalances are, learn what your soul contract is with your fur baby, whether they're physically here or in spirit, doesn't matter, because you have soul contracts with all the animals in your life. Of learning self-love, learning to let go of trauma, learning to not judge, learning to just be true to yourself. These are just examples. The soul contracts can be very in depth, and they can be just for like a split moment. You may meet a dog at the food store, right? And you may just go over to that dog and say hello and spend a couple of minutes. And in that soul contract with that dog for that moment, what have you done? You not only made the dog's day, but I guarantee you've brightened up the human's day too, because how do we feel when somebody comes up to us and says hello to our dog, right? Or our cat or whoever? It makes us feel good. So soul contracts can be very in-depth, or they can be very right to the moment, short term. My whole point of sharing this is in your awakening and your understanding better about yourself and your deeper connection with your animal, you will start to empower yourself. Your intuition and your psychic abilities will start blossoming. And coming from that will be a more heart-based consciousness of living day to day with your fur babies and in life with the people around you. I wanted to go into more depth about that on Jeff Maher's podcast. So that's why I figured I'm going to do this video and share it with you now. So if you've watched that podcast and or you're watching this podcast in its entirety, I want to thank you. Feel free to make any comments, any questions you may have. If you need to go check out my services, just go to dulcinea.com. And of course, I'll put all that information below this video so you'll have easy access to this. And definitely make sure you subscribe to my channel. And I look forward to seeing you soon and commenting and giving you feedback on your questions. So thank you again for watching.